Hey everybody, Bones here, Bones Garage, just bringing you update what's going on at the garage. So, 1971 ElCamino with the big, humongous monster motor in there. What a great motor. That's, just to let you guys know, that is a Merlin block, and those are Pro 1 heads. This motor is really a badass motor. So, yeah, this is not a slow, just your average, ordinary big block. This is a badass car. So anyhow, we have started on this car. We have gotten a lot of the wiring and the mess that was over here out. We started organizing all of the wiring for the MSD box over there. And some of this wiring down here, the old stock wiring, we're going to eliminate a lot of that because some of that we really don't need. One of the wires that, or a few of the wires that are over there are for when it was stock and they had the delay relay in there for the timing that works off of the Turbo 400 transmission. So when you floored it, the timing would retard it and it would stay there for a little bit extra. It was a way of getting a high compression motor not to ping is what it was for. So we don't need it. So we're going to eliminate all of that. We don't need the windshield wiper motor wiring. So we're going to tie that all back and hide it. So that kind of stuff is going to get done. Most of the stuff for the car, the ignition, to turn on the ignition, we're going to have switches inside the car. We're going to have a push button start for it. The fans are going, the electric fans, they're going to be on switches for those two electric cooling fan inside the car. They will also run off of the thermostat with the relays, and there's part of the wiring harness for that back there. They'll still run that way, but the override switches, so if you just want them on all the time, you'll have that inside the car. The vacuum pump for this car to run the power brakes, the vacuum pump, it will also have a switch on the dashboard. So this way you flick the switch, you turn on your vacuum pump. The fuel pump, the same thing. It's going to have a switch on the dashboard inside the car. So a lot of the wiring that came stock in these cars, we're not going to be using. We're going to be using all the wiring for the headlights, tail lights, brake lights, and turn signals. But basically, that's all the stock wiring we're going to be using. So we decided just leave the old wire harness in there. It's not hurting anything. Cap off any bad wires so this way they don't do anything. So in other words, for like the windshield wiper setup, we're just going to pull the fuse underneath the dashboard. Now the windshield wiper setup, it's not getting any power. It's no big deal. We don't need them. This car is not driven in the rain. It's just too much. The other thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting rid of the SI alternator and we're going to be going to a CS alternator. They're a very good alternator. They're a newer style. So we're going to be changing that out. And then we're going to be fixing the wiring to the voltage regulator because we're going to be getting rid of the voltage regulator. We're going to go with an internal regulator. So I will get the plug that goes on here and make that all work. And I will set up all the correct plugs for the alternator, the CS alternator. So this way that will work correctly. We're going to change out all his ground wires because the ground wires are actually just too small. They're not a thick enough wire. We want to run a wire like this actual positive starter wire. That's what we want in here. So it gets all of the power right to the starter. You're not losing anything. With the smaller ground wires, this can pull a lot of amps. These can't. And a lot of times what it'll start doing is burning the ends of the ground wires. So we're going to change all that out. So we still have a lot of work to do. We're also going to be taking all the control arms off, replacing all the bushings and all that. Do some work on the steering. fuel lines, fuel system. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. We're going to do work on the floor underneath. And when I go underneath, I'll show you, because it's pretty bad under there. The carpet is all that's covering the floor and the ground. There is no metal on some of that to keep everything outside. So we still got a lot of work to do. I got a bunch of headers he dropped off to me. He's not sure which set of headers fits this car. So we'll pull the headers out that are in there now, because those headers hit the body of the car, the frame of the car. And he said, try some of these, see if any of these fit. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, this is a cool car. I'm really looking forward to getting it running right. I will talk to you in a little bit, guys. Have fun. Okay, bye.